Hey guys, it's your girl, the only Burberry. I'm back with another reaction video because by the title, I'm reacting to hip hop has a baby mama problem. Right?
Temptations in the
I don't
world
know
of
why it's
hip hop.
funny. A baby mama problem is crazy.
Others squander their fortunes on things they don't really need, and others can't leave behind the life they once led in the hood. But one systemic issue in rap that often goes overlooked is the problem of rappers and their multiple baby mama. Because if you aren't willing to step up to the plate and raise those kids, it can do some serious damage to your reputation. And worse, serious damage to the kids who are left caught in the crossfire of all the bitter fighting and public controversy. It's your boy Luesta, and today we're taking a look at hip hop's baby mama problem and the toll it takes on everyone involved. Although you likely know who some of the people we're going to be referencing in this video are, it's important to note that the issue of rappers spreading their seed without properly considering the consequences isn't solely an issue of the newer generation. And to understand how it affects the modern generation of rappers, we must first look at the issues it caused for others. This includes a rapper who many hip-hop heads would consider to be one of the greatest of all time. Over the course of his much too short life, DMX fathered 17 children from 11 women. Where once he was at the top of the game, the fact that he had so recklessly impregnated women came back to bite him when rapping wasn't as lucrative for the dog anymore. In 2013, he had child support debts which surpassed $1.2 million. Then in 2015, he was sentenced to 6 months in prison for delinquency on $400,000 of child support. Like many of the rappers who've gone down this path, X had no strong male role model when he was growing up either. In fact, his home life was far from ideal, and this leads to the creation of collective trauma. In X's case, this unfortunately came to light on a TV show for the whole world to see. The pain X and his kids both felt became clear during a showdown with his son Xavier.
I didn't know he had 17 kids, dog. Oh my god, 17 kids. God damn, I would've forgot that, bro. After 8, I would've forgot every single one of their names and birthdays. Everything would have been forgotten. Not even gonna lie.
In order to have a bond with his adult son. But unfortunately, X, who had a horrifying childhood in his own right, and first smoked crack as a teenager, couldn't promise that.
That's what we want. Relationship. Healthy relationship. Can we have that? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm clean. Completely clean. What do you mean? You. That's what you're asking me for? Because that's the only way it's gonna happen. How are we gonna have a nice, healthy relationship if you're toxic? Well, if there's gonna be a condition, if there's gonna be a demand, all I've
You're not going for it.
I'm not gonna change for anyone. My son was nothing for me. I have so much to offer. I still love him. I love you too. I guess see you at my funeral.
Tragically, X would die at just 50 years old, with his cause of death being a cocaine-induced heart attack, leaving so much unsaid and unresolved.
I'm kind of mad he said that. It's kind of harsh in a way. But I can understand what both sides. You gotta remember, he's smoking crack since he was a teenager. And you don't know what he's going through. Like, people like that you can help. Like, you just gotta probably like either love them from a distance or just deal with who they are. To be honest, like he's been doing it since he's a teenager. Like he hasn't got the proper actual help. He hasn't gone to like rehab or nothing. So you can't really just be like, oh, it's me or drugs. They're gonna pick drugs, bro, because that's all they know. They have yet to get help from it. Like there's nothing you could do.
I'm not gonna change for anyone.
See, he's not gonna change for nobody. Like,
so much unsaid and unresolved. To make matters worse, X's recklessness meant that it made things incredibly messy when X sadly departed, with more alleged kids coming out of the woodwork to stake a claim to his estate. So, while someone like Nick Cannon having 12 kids with 6 women is basically a meme at this point, there are case studies which show the true toll that this unfortunate trend in hip-hop has on everyone involved. And more crucially, how it has reinforced negative stereotypes as well. Just look at the late Shawty Lo, for example. Back in the 2010s, it was revealed that the D4L rapper, who had 11 kids to 10 moms, would be the star of a reality show on Oxygen entitled All My Baby Mamas. From the minute it was announced, people were deeply concerned about how this reflected on society, and it soon led to a petition to cancel the show, which received over 37,000 signatures. In the clip I saw, Lo couldn't even remember the names of all of his 11 children.
That's me. I don't care if I birthed them. I'm not gonna remember their names. Nope. I ain't remember no names, no birthdays.
In an interview, this is not funny to me. What's so funny about this? This is not just an attack on African American parents and children, but all parents and children. As dysfunctional and violent as so-called reality shows are, could you ever imagine a 1-hour spectacle where 11 children are forced to witness their 10 unwed mothers clamor for financial support, emotional attention, and sexual reward from Shawty Lo? The apathetic father? Suddenly, Shawty Lo, who would also tragically die young, would be forced to try to defend himself to the conservative media, and it seemed like he was just too stuck in the same cycle as DMX.
I think a big fear also was that it was going to glorify the idea of pretty much everybody I've ever spoken with views as something that was irresponsible, having so many kids with so many women. Do you think that given your situation as a dad of 11 kids with 10
But
women,
my thing is,
you are in a
don't try to blame these fathers. These women know what they doing too. Because ain't no way I'm about to be somebody's 5th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th baby mama. No, they know what they doing too. Like, you can't just
send the right message?
blame the rappers. You gotta blame the women as well. They know what they doing. They don't care. So if they don't care, you think he gonna care?
About parental responsibility.
Basically, you know, everybody wasn't born with a silver spoon. Basically, like
Who?
I said, I came from a very hard upbringing. I can't take back what happened.
Although the show never aired, people being concerned about Shawty Lo's reality shouldn't have been the real focus, because by all accounts, he was a man who was in his children's lives and took care of them. As a result, neither the baby mamas themselves or any of Shawty's enemies in hip-hop could ever hold that against him.
Okay, so I don't see a problem with that one. If he's taking care of his kids, there's not. Man, that man can have 30 kids as long as you take care of them kids.
As a result, neither the baby mamas themselves or any of Shawty's enemies in hip-hop could ever hold that against him. But for today's artists,
I don't want to keep pausing so much, but I know it is sad, especially because he passed away. I know it's a lot of kids, so it's gonna be hard for them and the mothers. I don't know if he left money back for them, but it is gonna be hard.
The era of
either
social
way.
media has meant that this has gone from being a personal issue on the fringes of hip-hop to a real problem, which can permanently damage the parties involved. So let's take a look at rappers who have had to wrestle with this situation and, more often than not, came out looking more like a deadbeat than...
You know what's crazy? Lil Wayne don't even have that much kids. Lil Wayne really has,
and where better to start than
what,
the
4
Toxic King
kids? That's
himself.
not even a lot.
Over the course of his career, Future has fathered 8 kids with 8 women. Since the start of his journey to fame, being a father has been an integral part of Future's public image and
I don't know
persona.
about this one.
Initially, he was seen as a role model, largely due to how he presented himself in this role.
You are an amazing man, because I don't know how you keep him on friendly.
Man, you gotta be a nice guy, you feel me?
Well,
It's
so you-
easy though for me though.
How is it easy to just have all the baby mamas just get along?
Man, just put the kids first, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Over time, this perception would starkly shift, as somehow that version of Future is the same man that would later say the following in an interview with GQ. People have their own definition of what toxic is. These women all were toxic to me. They just don't want to admit it. Over the years, Future has weathered tons of negative attention and bad press, stemming from his ongoing war with his baby mamas over what they see as his mistreatment of them and the neglect of the kids. Take his baby mama, Brittany Mealy, for example. They've been at war for years over their son Prince. It's even been alleged that he even referred to her as a hoe in a text message to their 8-year-old son, with Brittany stating, "He texts this to a child. You a real coward. He's 8 years old, stupid." Later, she revealed that Future hadn't seen his son for 3 months, despite being in the same state. Never once to apologize or back down, his infamous Mother's Day tweets saw him declare that the only mothers of his children, Hendrik and Cash, were real ones. While in 2019, it took Eliza Serafin taking him to court for him to admit that their child was his. Later, she sued him for damages over allegations he made that she had purposefully gotten herself pregnant, rather than because of the 2 years of unprotected sex the parties previously engaged in. Despite the fact that Future has proclaimed that it's the woman who sparked the downfall of these relationships and created distance between himself and his offspring, there are numerous scenarios where this very clearly isn't the case. Take his relationship with Sierra, who welcomed baby Future in 2014. That relationship ended when Sierra, who is now married to Russell Wilson, discovered that Future had been having an affair with his wardrobe consultant, Tarina Lee. By contrast, she and Russell Wilson actually remained celibate until they got married. As of now, Russell has been there for his child to the extent that people think he has more right to the title of father than the multi-platinum selling star who helped create him. The dad that stepped up, no questions. That's Russell's son. Y'all keep saying stepdaddy. That's a father. On the other hand of the spectrum, Future was clowned for
I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of true though. Like, he's the father figure to him.
his disconnection to the child after he bought him a Rolex for his 5th birthday.
Happy birthday.
This clip
You bought a motherfucker a Rolex.
went viral,
A
prompting
Rolex?
social media responses such as, "I'm crying, Future got his son a Rolex for his 5th birthday, and Buddy said thanks like it was a lukewarm Capri Sun. All his homies got Avenger toy sets and action figures. Baby Future sitting in the playground with a goddamn Rolex, looking lost. I know for a fact that Lil Future did not want a Rolex at the age of 5. Seemingly only showing up to the big events as opposed to putting the kids first like he originally claimed. There is no more clear-cut example of the effect that Future's negligent ways have on not only his reputation with the child themselves, then his baby with Jessica Smith. Brought into the world in 2002, Jacoby Wilborn is the firstborn son of Future. But even though the first child is usually treated as a divine gift, it appears that's not how it went down this time. In 2013, Jessica first sued him for child support and claimed that he lied about his income to minimize the payments he had to make. Then, 3 years on,
Don't
she
they
sued him
always?
again and claimed that the $2,800 a month allowance would no longer suffice, as she had to send her child to therapy in order for him to process the trauma of his father's neglect. In the suit, she also stated that Future had
I ain't gonna lie,
harmed
that's
the
a real
child
thing,
by
though.
failing to maintain
Like, that's neglect. People be trying to brush it off, but when you neglect your kids, bro, it messes them mentally,
a
bro.
loving and meaningful relationship with him. Although it's unclear exactly where the truth lies, it doesn't change the fact that Jacoby, who is an aspiring rapper under the name King Kobe, has had issues. As in January of 2020, a 20-year-old Jacoby was arrested on charges of criminal gang activity, criminal trespass, and altered ID of a firearm during a gang buzz. Considering he's the heir to Future's immense fortune, it makes no sense for him to be leading that kind of life. Unless, of course, he has baggage stemming from abandonment. Despite this, Kobe still cites his dad as an inspiration.
Just by seeing being there right
Oh,
there though,
shit.
like seeing it.
And he sound
seeing how
like
other
him.
people react to his music, and he just being my dad.
Nah, you can't deny this one. I ain't gonna lie, you can't do it.
Awards, winning stuff. Dang, I can do that.
Motherfucker
I
sound
really- I
and
can
look like
sing
him.
award. People can know all my songs word for word, just like they know his song.
Damn, I
So
feel like
that's
I'm.
one of my main influences for me.
Where Future previously portrayed himself as a potential figure, one person who will be the first to admit that he's not made for the role is NBA Youngboy. At 24 years old, the Baton Rouge rapper has 11 kids to 7 different women. And where Future tried to maintain an illusion that they all got along, Youngboy apparently had no issue creating literal trauma for them all. Namely, when he used 2 of his baby mamas as enforcers to handle Arcola, the mother of his son Kyle, after she was viewed as being disrespectful towards him. In November of 2023, she went on live to discuss the situation.
Hitting your son's mom in the face with a gun is crazy. Letting her get hit in the face is crazy. I left with so much blood, bro. It's blood on my son. It's Jack. I just had to go to Target and
In
grab him a quick little
Front of
outfit.
your son. I'm not even gonna lie, females be knowing what they get themselves into, but I feel like as a man, you gotta do better, bro. Like, what? You just pistol whip your baby mother in front of your
While
son?
many baby mamas are portrayed as leeches by some rappers, Youngboy did this to a woman who didn't seem to be waiting on a handout.
My son, father, that moment I can't work. I'm calm for whatever I want right now. Working is a choice for me. But you know, our parents
Girl, do what you gotta do.
do everything for my son. It's like shooting on his head in my eyes. So I'm going to take care of my son, like you need.
Over the years,
Exactly.
Youngboy has feuded with the vast majority of his baby mamas, even encouraging feuds between them. At one point, Yaya Mayweather, daughter of Floyd Mayweather, and mom of one of Youngboy's kids, got 6 years of probation for
This one, we go on, bro. I don't understand. Your father is Floyd Mayweather, baby girl.
stabbing YB's other baby mama.
You be tripping
Tyler
over
Jacobs.
young
Now,
boy?
the kids might be young currently, but what kind of impact will this have on them in the years to come? Well, stay tuned to find out a little later. But what we do know is that all of Youngboy's
Oh,
11
baby, I don't care if you my sibling. If your mama stabbed my mama, oh, to hell with you.
children
We ain't
probably won't be
siblings.
thrilled to hear that their dad isn't really into having kids in the first place.
I'm not really big on it, to be honest. I'm only like in here cause you, cause I'm not the type like the sugarcoat nigga, but I'm 4 walls.
Unsurprisingly, this led to massive backlash for Youngboy, who was seen carrying on a cycle that's all too common in the inner city community.
So wear a condom.
Among the most vocal critics
How about
was
that one?
Charlemagne, who went off on him on the Breakfast Club.
I didn't know I would have to say this, but my brothers, that is, right?
It
So many of
is.
us come from broken homes. So many of us had fathers or mothers that weren't big on having kids. But what bothers me about statements like this is NBA Youngboy talk, that gangster talk in the records. And not only does he talk that gangster talk, he talks that big money talk. Or in the words of Jay-Z, a man that don't take care of his family can't be rich. So don't
You're
talk money
pathetic to
talk
me.
if you're not big on fatherhood. And as far as being gangster, you can kill thousands of people in your records, but if you're not big on fatherhood, you're not G at all.
And if you know one thing about Youngboy, is that it's inadvisable to provoke him. And this, of course, led to a diss track with Act the Donkey.
And you know what's so crazy is that he could say this, but there's other females that's gonna have more kids by him.
But thankfully, it hasn't reached the point where Charlemagne is actively using his record as an absentee parent against him by using his baby mamas. However, the same cannot be said for Chief Keef. Exploding onto the map at just 16 years old, Sosa definitely never tried to act like he was some kind of role model, and nor should anyone view him as one. But there's no denying that he's a casualty of what fame and temptation can lead to. Although it was initially believed that he had 5 kids to 5 women, documents filed during hearings over his child support payments revealed that he had 4 more children to 4 more women. That's 9 kids in total. And
he got 9 kids.
Transcript of what was said, Keef did not want to pay for any of them. During the hearings, Keef said that he makes $9,000 a month with $9,000 in expenses, basically implying that he breaks even every month and is left with nothing. Despite this, the judge ordered that he pay $564 a month to each of these women to help pay for the child. Considering that, for a time at least, he was one of the hottest prospects in rap, that figure seemed a little slim. Whatever was the case, people couldn't believe that Keef would do that without thinking of the damage to the children. Literal definition of trashiness. That's disgusting. 4 kids who will be screwed up for life. Beyond that, Erica Early, a woman who is 15 years older than him and had his first child when he was 18, wanted him thrown in jail over unpaid child support, eventually campaigning for $500,000.
Mixed up. He had his first child at 16, and that ain't his first baby mom. Or unless that is.
Beyond that, Erica Early, a woman who is 15 years older than him,
Nah.
had his first child when he...
That man loved KK. He would have said, I ain't gonna lie, like, nah, when he came out, it was all about KK. KK definitely his firstborn. Definitely.
18, wanted him thrown
He
in
ain't
jail
pay about
over
that
unpaid
one.
child support,
What?
eventually campaigning for $500,000 from him. As a result, he now pays her $2,500 per month. But while all that publicly fighting over money can't be good for the kid in the long run, and there's no question marks about whether or not she's basically groomed an 18-year-old in the first place, it doesn't compare to one of Sosa's other baby mamas, Slim Danger. In hip-hop, there's a negative stereotype that women are out there actively trying to get a baby by a rapper to secure a bag. But while this isn't true for everyone, it's clear that they're out there, namely Slim Danger herself. A woman who previously slept with Lil Durk and Lil Baby among others, Slim Danger revealed on a podcast with the similarly infamous Selena Powell that she actively sought out Sosa to try and have a kid with him.
So I didn't get pregnant yet, so I was like, I gotta do a little more manifestation. I gotta get pregnant for this dude with this big ass dick.
Having previously considered other options, she then realized that Keef wasn't the one to play with.
I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Like, join the crew. I was like, damn, wrong fucking rapper at the time.
After hearing that, people were shocked about how she basically used the eventual kid, Zinc, as a ploy, only to leave him with eventual issues when it comes back around. It's crazy how nonchalant she is about her son not having a relationship.
That's so true, too. If he told you, welcome to the club, baby, I would have been at that clinic. What? Welcome to what club?
With his father.
No.
Even joking about it, that kid's gonna need a lot of therapy with the parents he has. As if
What?
all that
That's
wasn't
not
bad
even
enough,
funny or
Slim
cute.
then started siding with Sosa's allies when she made peace with the fact that she wasn't getting what she wanted from him, putting him on blast and aligning with Tekashi 6ix9ine. But even he wasn't spared humiliation at her hands.
That man don't care.
6ix9ine was small. How big? He was about a 4.5, 5.
Although having a kid with the wrong woman did damage to Keef's credibility in the short term, he's still very much seen as a hero in the genre, even with his kids being left without a father. However, when it comes to baby mama drama arising from dealing with a woman who'd happily air your dirty laundry, no one miscalculated quite like Freddie Gibbs. A while back, Freddie Gibbs was dating an adult film star who went by the name of Destiny Cream. Over time, they got closer, and when she fell pregnant with his kid, they were still on good terms. However, once things got chaotic, she didn't hesitate to trash him.
It was like watching the downfall of Freddie Gibbs when he first.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all gotta watch who y'all had baby boys. Men and females. Watch who got baby boys.
Contacted me, I didn't know who he was, right? And And then when I met
But
up with him,
the crazy thing is, people, because I don't want to be a hypocrite, so I'm gonna take that back. Wait till you married. I'm not even gonna, because people change, bro. I've done seen this so many times where somebody will be so in love until they get their kid and then just break up.
built himself up
It's
to
like,
be
dang.
like this, you know, vice lord and like gangster and like coke rapper, whatever. Like built himself up to be someone that I could always feel protected with and trust. And then I slowly saw his downfall. Like
He don't like that man. I don't know who he is, but he don't like him. I know that for a fact.
And he even made a comment to me. He was like, I feel like you don't respect me after what happened in Buffalo. Whenever he
What
would
happened in
like
Buffalo?
rep his set, it would make me feel like, okay, he knows people that know people that know people that can protect me, right? And I always felt protected around him and his friends. And then when I saw that he wasn't really like that, I was like, oh shit, like what's going on? This person is not who he says he is.
Taken from one of his closest allies.
Oh, now she thinking she dating the big homie and he ain't the big homie.
To
Oh,
an enemy
damn.
overnight over allegations that he had ghosted her. She would go on to release a diss track against him and even take photos with Benny the Butcher following his chain getting snatched in Buffalo.
Let me tell you about a bum nigga named Freddie. One day he slid up in my DM, he was begging to get me. I let him shoot his shot, I never thought it'd get messy. I gave him life and this dummy turned into a deadbeat.
Once the track was released, she sounded off about her motivations, even as some pleaded with her that two wrongs don't make a right. Freddie has not been around since I was 3 months pregnant, way before any of my shenanigans. Y'all gotta stop making excuses for men who snake their own seeds. He himself only posted that he loves 3 of the kids he claims. He has never met our son, does not want to, and does not help financially. He is pathetic. Among the nastiest wars in recent memory, things between Destiny and Freddie were so tense that at one stage, she even considered raffling off the name of his kid to his sworn enemy, Academics.
Freddie, what you didn't know and you're gonna hear her admit is that when she hit me up, your child was already 2 months old. Child was a little bit more than baby matter at that point. That's Freddie Jr. in that game.
But a strange thing happened since then. As even after she dropped the infamous pic of him doing what she claimed a while back on X that earned him the name Spready Gibbs, even his own enemy Academics felt for him.
I remember thinking, nah, ain't no way. By the way, she had said she would probably never drop it. Clearly, they always say, hell hath no fury.
Was that
way worse
his
than a woman's
wide
soul.
open?
And I gotta be honest with you, man. That shit ruined my day, ruined my lunch. Nigga, I haven't since I seen that motherfucking picture.
From there, he even suggested to Freddie that the fact that his new partner is on OnlyFans should be a clear-cut sign to avoid the same trajectory.
I'm not gonna relish in that happening. All I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you a good warning. Watch out for this next one because she fit the same bill as the first one already. OnlyFans, check.
In the game of rap, any
Something
conceivable
is
weakness
checked.
that you have will be used against you, and if you got a baby mama like Freddie or Chief Keef, you're sure to be in for a rough time. But the issue of rap's baby mama epidemic goes a lot deeper than being embarrassed by your peers. As studies have shown, in 1996, 70% of inmates in state juvenile detention centers serving long sentences were raised by single mothers. But it's not all on the women, as the figures are only slightly lower for single dads, to the point that without both parents having a stake in their lives, there's always a potential for damage. And more often than not, that's exactly what happens. So while the fact of doting fathers tend to be beloved in the culture, think Kendrick Lamar, Ice Cube, J. Cole, and Snoop, not being viewed as a deadbeat by their peers or bashed by baby mamas isn't the only reason why rappers should feel obligated to take care of their kids. The real reason is to do what's right for them. Because while a lot of the men discussed have a lot of kids with different women, having multiple baby mamas doesn't make you a deadbeat either. Just look at the example set by Lil Wayne. Weezy had his first kid at just 16, and overall, he has 4 kids with 4
One thing about Wayne, you gonna see him with them kids.
baby mama. Rather than all the public disses back and forth, both Weezy's kids and their mothers have nothing but praise for how he's conducted himself. My dad taught me a lot about just being in the industry, period, Regina Carter said in an interview. With him being in the industry since he was 12 years old, he taught me to just keep a thick skin, always be true to myself, never let no one tell me what I can and cannot do. As you know from his rhymes, Weezy isn't the most modest person in the world, so he has boasted about his role in his kids' lives too. I'm not on child support with any of these kids because I'm a great father, so good parenting is not determined by how much money you're paying at all. That's not what it's about. It's about being there and being the most important person in their lives. But rather than being just empty words,
It's literally not just about paying child support. It's like, damn, bro, like, are you showing up to the school Do you know when your child next doctor appointment is? Do you know what type of blood? Like, do you even know if they have sickle cell or not, bro? Like, do you know what they're allergic to? Do you know their teacher's name? Do you know the basics? Do you know what size they wear? Like,
Words from him, baby mamas like Lauren London have also praised Weezy for taking his share of responsibility to enable the women he has kids with to pursue their own dreams as well. I'm blessed that I'm not parenting alone, Lauren London said. I have help, and I get to do what I love. Wayne is a great dad. He's a great father. I have no complaints. As for why he's this way, Wayne credits his mother for teaching him to do right by his children above all else.
Her. I have no father. You know what I mean? I lost my father early, as I probably knew him for a good 6-7 years of my life before that happened. Other than that, man, my real pops, he walking around something. I'm sure you pictures. I go super hard, and I know you got friends that are like, nigga, you don't know that nigga, that.
his father's not dead? Wait, his real, like, sperm donor is alive?
Him to do right by his children above all else.
That's what I call him. I call him sperm donors, because that's what they are.
I have no father. You know what I mean? I lost my father early, as I probably knew him for a good 6-7 years of my life before that happened.
I thought he
Other than
died.
that, man, my real pops, he walking around something. I'm sure you pictures. I go super hard, and I know you got friends that are like, nigga, you don't know that nigga, that.
Unlike many of his peers who continued the cycle of abandonment, Weezy essentially intended to be the father he never had, and led with the example laid down by the woman in his life.
Yeah, it's all her though. Yeah. All her. Taught me how not to be that. You know what I mean? Taught me how not the farthest of the first from being an immigrant mother. That was the thing. We're gonna teach this young boy how to be a man.
Now regularly seen courtside with his son Cameron at sports games, Wayne shouldn't be seen as special for looking after his kids. But in an era of baby mama drama, he stands out as an example of what not to do when fame and fortune provides you with all the opportunity to be as reckless as you could. With plenty of people already wanting to hate on hip-hop whenever they can, the baby mama epidemic just gives them another reason to tear it down, leaving so many kids in emotional anguish in the process. So in the future, let's hope that people can lead by Weezy's example rather than Future or Sosa's approach.
I ain't gonna lie, I love me some Sosa. But we gotta praise the fathers that's there. Like, even though we should, like, you know, that's basic knowledge. Be there for your kids. It's like you gotta praise them. Because a lot of men ain't doing it. They're not. But you can't blame the men as well. You can't. It's like 50-50, bro. Like, the females know what they're doing. Like, Sosa, she knew what she was doing. She's trying to get pregnant by him. They know what they're doing. But also, these men, they gotta be smarter. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they be acting dumb. They be thinking with their little thing. Like, stop. It's really go both ways. And some of these females, they don't care, bro. They want to be the big mama. You know what I'm saying? And then the men, they don't care. They got the money. But they're not going to be there. That's the thing. All of them is thinking about money. They're not thinking about actually being in their child's life, bro. That's what people gotta start realizing that, bro. Like, being your child's life. If you got likes and reaction, remember to do a like, comment, subscribe, and turn that post notification bell on so you know when I bring a video. And I'll see you in my next video.